It's officially Mental Illness Awareness Week, and although we've come a long way in destigmatizing it, there's a lot more work to do, and that's where the National Alliance of Mental Illness comes in. And here to tell us about their efforts this week and year-round is member of the Board of Directors, Laura Hagen-Fairbanks, and Dr. Courtney Schoeneman, member of Southern Arizona Psychological Association. Thank you both so much for joining me.
Thank you for having us.
Nice to see you. So, like I said, we're in Mental Illness Awareness Week right now, and you guys have some events coming up that are really going to start this conversation and move the conversation forward. I suppose first, Laura, we should start with what is NAMI and what's the mission?
NAMI stands for National Alliance on Mental Illness, and then I will add of Southern Arizona because that's the local chapter. And NAMI works to end stigma around mental illness, and we also have support groups for people with mental illness as well as family members of people with mental illness.
Well, and having that framework, having that ability to network with other people who may be going through the same challenges or have resources to help you with those challenges is huge for anybody suffering from that. And Dr. Schoeneman, Southern Arizona Psychological Association, tell us about that.
Yes, so it's also called SAPA, and what it is it's a professional organization in Southern Arizona that promotes continuing education, awareness. It's a good group of psychologists that really, one of the committees is working on reducing mental health stigma and mental health awareness and trying to focus on innovative ways that people can heal through using the arts has been one of our major focuses last year, using the arts to heal from mental health issues. Yeah,
arts are amazing, aren't they? The power of the arts are just incredible, and that's just one of the aspects of what you guys do. And Laura, I talked about the good work that you guys do all year round, but this week specifically there's a couple events where people can show up and learn and really sort of understand it a little better and heal in some ways. So starting with tonight, I should say tomorrow night, the Candlelight Vigil.
Tuesday night, right. The Candlelight Vigil is going to take place at Reed Park at 22nd and Lakeshore Drive. That's where it is in the park. And the Candlelight Vigil, there's a candlelighting ceremony. And then following that, people living with mental illness will talk about their recovery, you know, their struggles and how they have kind of come out on the other side and live in recovery.
Well, and then the other part of the event too is a film called The S Word that's going to be playing at the Loft Cinema. So how did this partnership between the Loft Cinema, the Southern Arizona Psychological Association, and NAMI all sort of come together to form this event?
So the Loft Cinema is partnering with us, and what they are doing is they're obviously screening the movie, and then they are going to split the proceeds with NAMI Southern Arizona so we can do more educational events in the future.
Well, it's a big educational event in general because there's also going to be tables and booths with information, etc., a Q&A afterwards, and then of course the movie is The S Word. Give us an idea of what that movie is. Dr. Schoeneman or Laura, whoever wants to take it.
So the S word stands for the word suicide, and the reason it is kind of called the S word is because the stigma surrounding the S word, the taboo of talking about suicide, and the importance of talking about suicide. I will be on the panel with a few other practitioners and community members in regards to answering questions and Q&A after the screening, and we'll, you know, kind of providing resources, a little education on suicide. It is up to almost 45,000 people a year in the United States die of suicide, and 1 every 12 minutes just in the United States. And so just so much the importance of talking about it. I see so many clients in my practice that their parents have never talked to them about it, their family members never talk about it, and it's one of my first questions. And they're like, oh my gosh, yeah, I've had those feelings all the time. And so it's just the importance of talking about it, and it doesn't put the idea in people's heads. I think that's the biggest thing I want people to understand. It's not like it's going to put the idea in a person's head. It's probably already been there. And so just really talking about it, reducing the stigma. You know, as we talked about earlier, that mental health issues are just as common as a medical disorder like asthma. So, or allergies, as we were just joking about,
well,
you know.
I know very well about that, but certainly, I mean, if you look at it that way, like I was saying to you just before, if you have a broken arm, you go to the doctor for that. If you have mental health issues, you go to a doctor for that. That's the idea.
You'd hope so, right?
You would hope so. At least that's what we're trying to get people to do.
Yes.
So, of course, all preventable deaths, the ones you mentioned, by the way, I mean, if they had just had the conversation, if they had just been informed in some other way, they could have, prevented that. And that's what these events are all about, is to really spotlight, really highlight mental illness, mental health, and how important it is to have those conversations. So thank you both so much for what you're doing and for joining me here today.
Thank you so much.
Absolutely. Now take a look at your screen there. There are 2 events taking place, one tomorrow, one on Wednesday. You can find out more information by visiting namisa.org or by calling 520-622-5582.